Top of the day to you beautiful people. Here, Giuseppe Corbisiero, Joe, with Sarah Cantu. Yeah,
Perfect.
I said it right.
You just said it right, yeah.
I was
Good
actually wondering about the Cantu, so I said it right.
Yes.
So here with Real Talk San Diego, providing you another excellent episode with Real Talk. So as you know, we'll talk real stuff here. I'm not going to be cursing today. That's my promise. Yeah, believe it or not.
Are we turning a leaf?
Uh-huh. So, Sarah is the Director of Development at Sharp Healthcare Foundation, and we're going to talk about charitable gift and so on. But before we get there, please tell what you do.
So I am the Director of Development at Sharp Healthcare Foundation, specifically at Sharp Chula Vista Medical Center. So Sharp has a lot of facilities throughout the county, and we have a really great staff at the Sharp Healthcare Foundation that supports the community through charitable giving. So what a lot of people don't know about hospitals in San Diego in general is there's a big portion of them are not-for-profits. And Sharp is a not-for-profit healthcare system. So what that means for us is that we give back to through the community in a variety of ways. But one way that the community partners with us is through charitable giving or philanthropy. So that's what I do. I connect people with the hospitals that we serve and hopefully allow them to leave a legacy through giving.
That's amazing. It's super honorable.
It's a great job.
So yeah, tell me about this. So you're doing something really special for the community. So how'd you end up there?
Well, I started working at the Hotel del Coronado. That was
No
my
way.
first job in San Diego. That's a
Interesting.
great job. The
Yeah.
great first job, right? The
Yeah.
kind of iconic
Totally. Are you kidding?
job to
Yeah.
have in San Diego. And I worked there for about 5 years. It was a great opportunity. And then had the opportunity to go transition to the American Heart Association. So that was kind of my first forte into
the charitable cause.
Yeah. That's where I met one of my good friends, Denise, the real estate mama. You know her. She's one of my best friends. And we met there. And I worked there for another 5 years or so and learned a lot about charitable giving. And then had the opportunity to work for Sharp Healthcare Foundation, which was a huge jump for me to personally and professionally to kind of move into the healthcare space, but then also do something more on a local scale, which is very important to me to do. So now I've been there for almost 9 years. At Sharp Healthcare
So
Foundation.
you 9 years there, 5 years, and that's 14 years of experience. And
Yeah.
wow, that's awesome. So I'm thinking, because my brain is like this. So working in an environment like that, you see all kind of situations, and I think you have to have a certain set of skills, right, to succeed in that business. Let's call it, I wouldn't even call it business. How would you call it in that line of work?
Yeah. The
Let's call it
industry.
industry.
Yeah.
There you go. So how did you develop the skills that you actually have to be successful in a foundation, helping people?
Well, actually in school, in college, I did that's where I first got that experience, was in school when I took a charitable giving kind of class or cohort that I went through with. And so that was very helpful. My parents are very charitable and do a lot of volunteering. So I think for me, it was just a culture, it was just built in.
Right.
The reason I wanted to work in healthcare, though, is because of my grandfather. So he was a great man, very involved in his own healthcare system, and taught me a lot. He was president of a bank.
Oh, wow.
So taught me a lot about giving back to the community. So I think just through that, just being raised in that environment, it felt like a really good fit to me professionally. So then once you kind of dive in and get into that job, it's the job. We're trying to connect people in the community with charitable causes that they care about. And for me, I'm hoping that they choose to support Sharp Healthcare Foundation for whatever reason. So the things that you learn is just how to talk to people, how to connect with people, how to listen to them, hear their stories, and understand where their best fit would be. It also kind of, like you mentioned, can be a little complex at times. So everybody, has different reasons why they want to give. Some give because they want to name a room in a hospital, and they want that recognition, right? And they might give through gifts of cash or gifts of stock or things of that nature. That's a little bit more of that transactional aspect of giving. Other people want benefits, like tax benefits, or they need them. And so large organizations like Sharp Healthcare Foundation can help facilitate pretty much any gift that you'd want to make. So for me, the time in the industry has allowed me to learn more about more of those complex situations. And I think, like you said, just through the stories of hearing, like working with people and listening to them, you learn about all these different things in different ways. And no charitable gift is the same. No two are the same. Everybody has a different.
They're all different. Yeah. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Which makes the job fun.
So something comes to my mind, and you guys watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where I'm probably going. Is there some sort of BS bureaucracy behind it, or is it just super clean? No, I want to know the real deal. You know what I mean? Because it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I can pick up the phone and say, look, I owe $150,000 in taxes. I would like to donate $75,000. You know what I mean? Or $50,000, whatever. At least it's for an honorable cause. Helping people in the community. But on the other spectrum, is there bureaucracy behind or stuff that makes it complicated or limits you to do your job or to elevate the your business to a certain level because of the rules and regulations or the pressure or whatever? I don't know how it works, so I'm just asking you.
Well, I mean,
and I know you know.
I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
I think generally speaking, I can't speak for every charity, obviously. So you've got a lot of smaller charities that probably don't have the bandwidth or the capability to do all sorts of gifts. So some of that might land more into the size and scope of the charity that you work for and what your availability is. For example, for a charity to fund an annuity, there's rules and regulations around what a charity must have in order to provide you, let's say, if you were to do an annuity, a lifetime income, right? So I, by federal law and state law, have to, as an organization, do things that would guarantee you that income for life. So larger organizations, larger charities in the county can support some of those things. Overall, though,
give us an example
of a charitable gift annuity.
Yeah, with annuity.
So one thing somebody could do, a person could donate a gift of property, let's say. Let's say you have a gift of property.
Okay, so you gift the property to the
San Diego,
foundation.
let's say you bought it a while ago and you had capital gains on that property. So what you could do is donate a gift of property, avoiding some capital gains taxes on there, maybe getting a pretty good deduction on that gift. And that could be it. That might be plain and simple, and that's maybe basically a transfer of that property or asset to the charity. Another way you could do it is same thing, transfer that property, transfer that asset to charity, and you could also have the charity invest that into an annuity. And what that would mean is then you would get an income for life. So basically that property has now funded a charitable gift annuity, and once that gift matures, as we call it in the industry, then the charity gets the remainder value of that annuity.
How did they get an annuity out of it? So could it be a rental or just that's the way it is?
Yeah.
So they gift
a property.
Then the charity will rent the property?
Nope. So usually, well, there's a couple different ways. So we don't hold on to assets generally. So we would liquidate that asset.
Oh, you will liquidate it.
If you were to give it to us directly, we would liquidate the asset. That goes for stocks too. So most charities will have a policy. I just know Sharp, but Sharp's policy is that we would liquidate that asset, fund the annuity with that asset. Because we're not an investment firm, we're a charity,
exactly.
and we really want to use that money for good. There's one thing that we do, and there's a couple other charities I think in San Diego that do it, but I can't speak for them. But at Sharp, we can do something called the Life Estate Gift Annuity. So it's similar to
Life Estate
Gift Annuity.
Okay.
And what that is it's a gift of your home to charity of your choice, a charity that can do it to facilitate this. But it would be really good for somebody who wants to stay in their home. So say you're 75 years old.
Yes.
And, well, I'll give you an example of somebody I just worked with. So she's about 75 years old, 74 years old, lives in downtown San Diego, and really wanted to she wanted to get her name on something at Sharp. And Sharp Chula Vista, we're building a brand new hospital down in Sharp Chula Vista. And on the very, very top, we're going to have a cafeteria, the 7th floor, and it's going to have views of the San Diego Bay and downtown, right? She really, really wanted her name on that cafe. That was important to her. And so we sit down, just like you and I are right now, and we have this conversation about how she can get there. And it's a gift of $1 million to name that, right? So how do you give that if you don't have it in cash, right? She has no children, she's not married, so she doesn't have a lot of heirs. And so she realized, I could give a gift of my home. But she really needed the benefit to, number one, stay in her home. She didn't want to move, and the benefit of getting an annuity payment. So what we did was she gifted her home to Sharp Healthcare Foundation to benefit Sharp Chula Vista, and she is getting a lifetime annuity payment of
Can you share how much worth?
About $45,000, $50,000 a year. And annuity, by the way, annuity rates are going up right now too, so it's a good time to do that. You usually want to be about 70 years or older to take advantage of those annuity rates, though, because the rate is based on age. So yeah, she gave a gift of her home, but she can stay in the home until the end of her life and still capture the annuity payments.
Kind of like a reverse mortgage,
but
you actually
like
doing a
reverse
great thing.
Charitable mortgage, like
it's
a reverse
amazing.
mortgage, but it's a reverse charitable mortgage. The other benefit is to qualify for this, you only need, well, it's really about age and then the debt on your home. So if it has to be a ratio that's acceptable to Sharp, which is usually about either no debt on the home or maybe 10% or so. It really depends on the value of the home versus the amount of debt. We will expunge that debt that you have. So if there is any remaining mortgage, we will pay that off. You then give the home to us and we own it. We're deeded now for the home. We in turn allow you to live in that home for the remainder of your life, and you get an annuity payment for the remainder of your life. If something were to happen, say you needed to move into a long-term care facility or decided to move in with a downsize into a different space,
something else,
you could choose to rent the property and continue to get your annuity payments and capture rental income on top of it.
Wow.
So it kind of sounds a little too good to be true, but it's not.
It's actually pretty cool. I mean, that would be a great solution for
good solution for
a
lot
lot
of people.
Seniors and people that actually
and you get to leave a legacy. You get to name something. You get to be a philanthropist.
That's so beautiful. I love it. This is a great solution. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I'm
You're
sure most of the viewers out there had no idea, like me, something like this is possible. Quick question on the annuity that he or she will be making on a yearly basis. Is it tax deductible?
So about 60% of her annuity income is tax-free income.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So she'll be paying taxes on $20K.
Yeah, say just about. So you got 40 grand you're making every year it looks a little bit better now when 60% of it, 50 to 60% of
That's
it
actually really
tax-free,
awesome.
right?
Such a great solution.
Yeah. So it's a good tax solution. It's a good solution also for people who want to stay in their home and maybe are a little bit worried. So if you have, as a real estate agent, if you have somebody that you're working with and maybe they're saying, gosh, I wish I didn't have to sell my home. I wish I could stay here. But I have a little bit of debt left and I can't afford the mortgage and my retirement's running out and they're over 70 years old.
That happens a lot.
Call me.
It's true. That happens a lot, Sarah. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And at times I don't have an answer. Like they have to sell and I feel bad. I've been there for 30, 40 years and I don't have a solution. So they have to sell and then the problem is, what are they going to move?
Right.
And if they go into an assisted living or one, it's really expensive. So they have to sell in order to move somewhere else.
So this could also help support assisted living. So you think about the prospect of doing this, and even if somebody went into assisted living, they could essentially still get the annuity on their home, rent their home out. In that case, it might even be better to put your home into a charitable annuity, sell it, fund it into a charitable annuity, and just get those annuity payments, especially since annuities are going up right now. We did a little you kind of look and see if you just sell your home outright and invest that money, what are you going to get? 1-2%, maybe 1.5%.
On a safe investment,
1%, and you're probably, if you're older, looking at long-term care, you're not going to be investing very aggressively because you need that money. So that essentially wouldn't last you very long because you're dipping into it. Annuities, based on your age, can go up to 9.5%. So please tell me what.
So what is it going to give you 9.5%?
Right, and you get to, again, most charities will name something in honor of you for that philanthropy. So you get that added benefit of kind of leaving that legacy for your family or for yourself.
And even if you put
community.
aside the whole benefits of the annuity, well, no, you actually, it's a great cause. You're helping,
cause.
Sharp and, the healthcare, developing something in Chula Vista and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's really, honestly, I had no idea this existed. So this could be a solution for many of our clients that we work with.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
let's talk about, this is even more common, the 1031 exchange. We just talked about this. There is a way to do the same thing. So if they, let's say they bought an investment property and they live out of state. It's actually happening a lot.
Right.
They're sick and tired of dealing with, I have a client actually right now, and I'm thinking about it. Dealing with, we call it with toilets and tenants,
Right.
TT.
Yeah.
So they're sick and tired of dealing with tenants, they don't pay the rent on time or whatnot. It's a seller's market right now in San Diego, so it would be a great time to sell.
Right.
But they don't want to be hit with a, with a capital gain, which is pretty heavy.
It can be for a lot of people.
Right. I mean, I
early
have a
on.
client that, we ran some numbers for her. She's supposed to pay $93,000 in capital gain.
Wouldn't
That's
you rather give that
insane.
to charity?
Right, and here's the point. So,
And save yourself some money
can
too?
you do the annuity with a 1031 exchange?
So it kind of depends, and I feel like I can't 100% talk about
no,
exactly
just,
what that,
brainstorming,
because
yeah.
I'm not as familiar with the specifics. But what I would suggest is, again, every case is so individual, and so what we try to do is just give us a call, or you call me, and we have gift planning professionals on my staff that know a lot more on my team about all the specifics and really getting into the depths and the weeds of it all, because there are, depending on if it's in state or out of state, and we can do things that are international. If you had a property in Mexico, we could talk about that and see how that could happen. If you had a property from out of state, talk and see how that could happen. Rental properties are a little bit different sometimes, but other times, depending on what you want to do with it, it might be a very easy, simple solution. Other times, because of government regulations and state regulations, maybe you can and can't do certain things. But I would say gifts of property, and it doesn't have to just be homes, it could be commercial property and anything like that, is an awesome opportunity to save yourself some money, to decide where your money goes instead of giving it to the government, and really making a difference in the community and leaving a legacy. And the thing I find that most people, they realize, wow, the added benefit that I'm getting, whether that be the income or avoiding capital gains, I'm also getting the added benefit of being a philanthropist. And I never thought of myself as a philanthropist. I never thought I could do that. I always just thought, you had to write a check or, do that kind of thing. And in San Diego and in California, so many people have their wealth built around homes and real estate.
Absolutely.
And so they're looking for other solutions.
It is a market that builds your wealth around real estate.
Absolutely.
So, and I think it's nationwide, but in San Diego it's predominant because of the pricing.
Right.
So thinking about this, I want to ask you this: is it possible that you talk to your collaborators and maybe you can put a comment in this thread?
Yeah.
Explaining if it's possible to do, instead of doing it. So let's say let's clarify it. You have an investment property. You own this investment property for quite a long time. You're sick and tired of having investment properties.
Right.
So you don't want to necessarily reinvest with a 1031 exchange and buy a replacement property.
Right.
We want to find out if it's possible to donate that property to the Sharp Healthcare Foundation and see if you can get an annuity out of it. So number one, you're going to avoid your taxes, your capital gain taxes. Then you're going to have an income, so you get the annuity.
For life. And
the most important, you're helping people.
Right. Absolutely. And the important thing to remember in those types of transfers, and I didn't really mention it before, is you don't want to sell the home outside of the annuity. So the way that you have to do it is a direct transfer into an annuity. So you're gifting the home to the charity, to Sharp Healthcare Foundation, and then we liquidate that asset. So, gosh, my heart would break if I found out somebody wanted to give a gift and, okay, I sold my home, and here you go, and all of a sudden, all those tax benefits
they're going to disappear. That makes sense.
That doesn't exist anymore. So I think from a real estate perspective or an individual's perspective, consulting with people that you think might be like myself or others that you said, well, I'm going to get on top of this. I'm going to get ahead of this and just see what the solutions that are available to me to make sure that if we do decide to go that route, we're doing it the right way versus looking back and going, oh.
Talk to a professional. Obviously, that's your expertise. I would definitely say, talk to somebody that knows and then figure it out how to handle it, the whole transaction.
Right.
So we've been talking about real estate, but obviously you said there's all kind of gifts that could be done, it could be given, such as you said, cars or cash or stocks or Bitcoins.
I don't think we do Bitcoins yet, but you never know.
So we're going to find out about that too, if there's any cryptocurrency that could be gifted
that's
to
the I think that's an interesting conversation to have in philanthropy in general. And I think you're going to start seeing that probably. The
cryptocurrency. I mean, I see houses selling with, for crypto.
Right.
So it would be good if you can please, once you get the information to add it to the thread.
We'll add it to the thread, absolutely.
Awesome. I mean, some solid information here.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you this question. So we all have dreams. It's not a case that our team is called Dream Homes Team because we'll involve everything about dreams. So what is your dream professionally? Like where are you heading? What would be your dream as far as being the director of this particular foundation? What would be the dream of reaching a certain goal? And maybe in the near future, what would you like to do?
Well, gosh, I love what I do right now. It's a great opportunity. I've been able to kind of grow within the organization of Sharp. Sharp's a great organization. It's a huge organization, a lot of opportunity. I don't see myself not working for a charitable organization or doing that. I've invested so much of my career into that and helping people. But just like so many others in the community, it's that customer service, that client service, that donor service piece of it that I love. I would love to see. So my baby, where I work at Sharp Healthcare Foundation, but I work at Sharp Chula Vista Medical Center. I live in Bonita. I love the South Bay. Absolutely love that community. And it's just becoming such a huge binational region. There's so much change going on in that community with the Bayfront development. And it's kind of, from a philanthropic perspective, it's very underrepresented in philanthropy. But it's very overrepresented in market share and the number of people that live there and the number of investments going on down there and the number of homes being sold and bought down there.
Right.
And so my goal would be to grow the foundation and the philanthropy at Sharp Chula Vista.
Okay.
Right now we're building a brand new hospital. So that is exciting and we're doing a big campaign for that. So I want to see that through and see us really get some transformational philanthropy happening down in the South Bay and in the binational region. We're the largest binational region in the country.
Wow.
So it's just, an opportunity, I think, for a lot of philanthropy, good philanthropy to start happening down in that area.
Right. So
invest
time into that.
Yeah, invest a lot of time into that and grow that development in the South Bay.
What can we do to help you?
So the best thing you can do is just think about who and think about us. I think for me, I'd love to just be a resource. And these types of things that we talked about today would just be tools in your toolbox, right? So you all have so many things going on in your heads, just like we all do, and you're working and you're trying to meet the needs of your customers and your clients. I'm trying to meet the needs of my donors. So why can't a client become a donor, if it's the best option for them? And so just not forgetting that there is a space out there in the real estate world where someone can become a donor, that there is charitable giving in that. And so just reach out and we'll figure that out. And yes, I work for Sharp Healthcare Foundation, but I'm also a San Diego charitable person, and I would like to connect people with things that matter the most to them. And so again, just looking at your charitable people like myself and people that are in the positions that I'm in as resources, as real estate resources and resources for that, and just an additional tool to help your clients.
I definitely see it as a resource for sure. So there's so many things that we could do, to actually help others. So now let's talk about something that I believe a lot of people have in mind, and I certainly do. Actually, I see
Denise.
Denise, there's
my biggest fan.
My fiance there, my stepdaughter watching. There's several people. So, and there's a person, Jamie Harris. She's a good friend. She works in our office as well. She's a rock star, and she's a philanthropist. So she does a lot. She contributes a lot. I would love to actually start being that person as well, but I don't do it because it's ignorance in my end, because I come from the old country, and well, it's true, and it's not an excuse. It's really true. I want to know what the money will do for you as far as helping others.
Right.
So can you break it down what this foundation does for people?
So Sharp Healthcare Foundation, we're a big foundation, and just like a lot of the other healthcare foundations in the community, the money that you give, the nice thing about giving to like Sharp is you can direct it. So you can give it to an unrestricted, meaning you can give it to just Sharp Healthcare Foundation, and we will find and figure out where the need is greatest at that time. And so that's very helpful for us to fulfill our mission in that regard. But our mission, we deliver healthcare to the community.
Right.
So a lot of times what people don't understand with hospitals is that on top of doing all this infrastructure and building and investing in everything, got to buy this equipment and invest in this.
Makes sense.
We're some of the largest employers in the county. Yeah. We also do a lot of giving back to the community through giving of care and other things. And so philanthropy kind of helps close that gap for us a little bit. And I'll use the example of building the hospital down in the South Bay. So we're investing $300 million to build this brand new hospital, 7-story brand new hospital, right? To serve a community that is in dire need of this new facility. Okay. We're busy. We're the busiest emergency department in the county. We're a busy hospital. But in order to do that, we need philanthropy to help us. So it's not just an opportunity for you to get your name on something, but knowing, like you're seeing where it's going. You know that when you write that check or you transfer that property, that you're seeing that it's helping people every day, So, and I would say that for probably a lot of the charities in the community.
It's important. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's important because I think it's a little bit for everything, honestly. There's this rapid message. So the message is actually to have more people involved, right?
Absolutely.
Most of the times, all of us are same thing in real estate. So the message is to get more people involved to buy real estate.
Right.
But what does real estate do to you in this particular situation? What does a philanthropist do for you, and what you're gonna do for the society? And you just explain it really well. I mean, you're building a super duper hospital where it's much needed.
Absolutely, and for us, it's growing that family. So. My grandfather always said, it's my second insurance policy, So you give to a hospital, and then we know who you are, right? We know you're invested in a different way. So there's a lot of people that are invested in the healthcare of their community in various different ways. And by giving back, that could be through time, through treasure, and through talent. You hear that a lot. So that's serving on a board or giving money or other ways. There's a lot of different ways you can support healthcare in your region in particular. And it's an opportunity to just say, we serve a lot of people, we're taking care of a lot of people, doing a lot of really complex things in the community. Right. And what's a community without a hospital? Who wants to move to a community without good schools, good health care, right? So it's an asset to that community. And to the real estate of that community too. But then you become part of our family. You become my brother, you become part of something that's greater than yourself.
Totally.
So it's an amazing opportunity, and knowing that if you're going to put your name on something or leave a legacy, that it's generational. So and I think
that plaque will be there.
Yeah, will be there, right? And that's important, right? And some people care about that, and others don't. But I think generally speaking, leaving a legacy is an important part of living in a community and giving back to that community.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if you even look, if you've been in Bonita for how long?
13 years.
13 years. So South Bay pretty well.
Yes.
Right? So let's go back in 2000 and 10 years ago. How about that?
Perfect.
Was it different than now?
Yeah.
It's grown so much. I see that too.
It's grown so much. Yeah, it's insane. It's grown
even
so much.
The density of the population grows so much.
So it's one of the fastest growing. I think Chula Vista is one of the fastest growing cities. I know in the state, if not in the nation.
Yeah, because if you had Otay, the East Lake area, see how much they built. So there was, I think they triplicated the number of homes over there
and
in the last few.
Building.
Yeah, and they're still building exactly. So It's only one of the few areas where there's a little more land left, so they're taking advantage of that.
Absolutely.
And an hospital right there, it's much needed. It is needed. I mean,
it's needed. Yeah.
it covers South Bay. It's such a big geographic area. You know, it's not that small. I mean, it's
huge.
So many people that live there.
Yes.
So, and then multicultural. I love it. I mean, I absolutely love what's happening down there in South Bay. I go there for work often. You know, we represent buyers and sellers and whatnot. And I like it a lot. I mean, even geographically, it's pretty cool. It's close to Mexico, you know, different culture.
And with the Bayfront development, I think it's going to be a really neat kind of environment down there. It's really changing a lot.
Do you know what's happening to the Bayfront development a little bit? I mean, I know
a little bit. I mean, from what they're pushing out from the city of Chula Vista.
That's what it is.
But I know that it's moving forward, which is exciting. And I think it'll really change that area. And it's one of the last Bayfronts, if not the last Bayfront, that can be developed in the state of California. So it's really important.
I think it is actually in Southern California.
In Southern California,
yeah, totally, it is.
Right. So it's exciting, and it used to be such an industrial area, and to see it kind of transformed into an area that will be used for work and play and parks, and you know, there's so many families in the South Bay
it's
now.
a waste being warehouses. It's literally it kills me when I drive by and I see all these warehouses and just. It would be nice to have something better. I mean, geographically, it's amazing. Right there, there's the Bay, and so close, still very close to downtown, the amenities and so on.
Yeah, very, very close to down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great place. And like you mentioned, the multicultural thing and philanthropy, because you mentioned something. You said, you know, it's kind of from the old country, right?
Yeah.
Different. It's different. So I think that's another reason why philanthropy in the south of San Diego hasn't developed maybe as quickly as other areas, is because it's a very rich in history and culture, and so you have a lot of people coming from different belief structures, or even exposure to philanthropy might not be as high for some as others. And so again, I think some of these real estate investment opportunities kind of changes people's perception about what philanthropy is. But we need your help, folks like you.
No, and look, I come from a perspective of being Italian, being in Europe. And I can associate a lot with people from Mexico and South America, Central America. And please, if you're watching this, chime in, let us know if I'm right or wrong about this. But I associate to that because in Europe, in South America, Central America, there is a tendency that these charitable foundations, what they do, it's steal money. They take money away from it and they don't do anything, they don't give anything back. So I am an American citizen. I've been here for, 12 years now, and I consider myself to be American because I am American. And I realize that things are totally different here.
Right.
They're run differently. If they promise you that's what's going to be done, it will be done no matter what.
Yes.
So it has nothing to do with what we are experiencing in Italy or Mexico or in Uruguay or Brazil or whatever you come from.
Right.
If they say at the foundation they're going to be reinvesting the money or giving the money to an honorable cause, it will be done. So your money is not going to be wasted. And you can tell from our taxes. We pay taxes. Anywhere in the world you go, you have to pay taxes. Okay? I'm happy to pay taxes, even if they destroy me, but I'm happy. You know why? Because I see something back.
Right.
I see that the schools are amazing. The roads are clean. They're always enlarging the freeways. There's always something going on they're delivering. I mean, the money that I give every year, yes, it's painful because it's a lot of money, but I see the results. Right. You go to the old country, go to Europe and Italy or anywhere else, the politicians are eating the money that you pay for taxes. Over here is a little different. So I can see the results, and if you see the results already, starting from the top, obviously a foundation like yours, Sharp, I'm sure you guys are going to deliver.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and there's a lot of, they used to say philanthropy was uniquely American. I think it's changing a lot. So and we actually, we work with a lot of people all over Europe, and Canada has a really strong philanthropic presence as well. That it is changing, I think, throughout the world, that value of philanthropy, because it is a value-based system and a thing. But in the States, it's definitely managed differently. So there's a lot of regulations, and there's, we have to abide by, as a charity, certain things. right? And we're held to that.
Right.
So it's nice. I think it's a comfort in knowing for a donor, for example, if you were to do an annuity, that that's something that's guaranteed to you for life.
And it's sharp.
It's guaranteed, right?
It's not ABC whatever. It's sharp.
Right.
So
right.
It's awesome to know that. Seriously, you feel better, writing a check or donate something. You definitely feel better.
Yeah.
So for all of you watching today, I really want to thank you first of all, because you explained some things that I had no idea, and I'm sure most of the viewers were pretty surprised and perplexed, knowing that you can actually get an from gifting a property and avoid capital gain and whatnot.
Call me and we can
so yes,
get you more
please
information.
share your information if you like to share. So what's a good number to reach you at?
So the best number to reach me at is 619-502-4369, or Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, .cantu at sharp.com. Gosh, I'm in my, what space am I in right now?
Actually, no, the best
and
way.
you can put it up there too, and I'll post it.
Well, so you can see it. I want to thank you once again for watching. Please feel free throughout, this probably, this live video is going to go on for the next couple of weeks. Feel free to share. Feel free to write some more comments. We will be answering. Again, this is Joe, Real Talk San Diego, Dream Homes team. Sarah Cantu, thank you again.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Ciao.
Bye.